See, these headphones are so much more comfortable. These headphones and the box weigh as much as the other headphones.
You said something rhythm.
I did, but then I realized that you're a and Jamie's a so I will as well be a
But you got it.
But we have rhythm on too.
Yeah, he's got rhythm and a plug. You just have a plug. No,
on.
We're wearing
on.
it.
You're supposed to have a green screen. You're not supposed to be able to see that.
I don't have a green screen. When you have a room that's this nice, you don't need a green screen.
Oh. Right between the lines.
Not everybody can be content creators, Bo.
My friend in Illinois doesn't come and help me, or Chicago.
Your friend in Illinois? Well, that'd be like be like the blind leading the blind. Why don't you ask your friend that's an hour away to come down and help you? What's wrong with me?
Because I need help building drywall.
I can do that.
Electric.
I do that.
I don't need you to tell me what I need to do. I needed somebody to tell me how to do it.
After that, you're going to need someone to light your face and figure out how to get rid of rosacea.
No. See, the building has to come first. AJ's got to come help me build everything so I can secure it. Then you got to help me design it. You got to do the girly part.
The queer eye straight guy.
Wow, man, you're on a mood today.
You should have been an interior decorator.
Interior decorator. I feel like there's an insult somewhere in there.
Hey, make more money, right? I don't know which side of my monitor to look at.
I guess you don't really have to look at anything. You just remember where the camera is kind of at.
Well, it depends on which side of the monitor I'm looking at, which angle you're getting of me.
Is that your good side?
This is the I don't know side.
You didn't think about that before you put the camera there?
I was trying to get better lighting, but then when I realized I look on this side, you get... That's the flashlight.
See, I lucked out. Where I put the camera wound up. The only thing that I don't like about this framing is my door. My door's right there.
When Katie walks by.
I can ask Amber to bring me her thing.
I don't know what that means.
Why don't you close the
her light thing. The light part.
The ring light. So, because if I close the door, I don't have the cat door installed.
Oh, so they'll sit out there and try to tear the door down.
They ruin the recording. They'll ruin the recording trying to get into the room.
So you need AJ to come down or me to come down and install your cat door.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
No,
see?
I know how to do that.
This is a legitimate question. I'm not picking on you, Bo.
How long have you had the cat door?
Did you replace the drywall yet in Katie's room?
Yeah.
No pictures? What the man?
How long have you had the cat door?
Did you do it?
I painted it. I didn't put the drywall up.
Okay.
But how long?
You didn't say anything. I haven't heard anything lately.
Well, I don't have to because I don't parade around my successes. I don't need to. It's just a wall.
Oh, whatever.
It's just a wall.
Your successes.
I do not. When?
You do. Every firework video.
No. How is that parading around my success? I'm trying to sell music. I'm trying to sell music. Yeah. I'm trying to sell music.
The fireworks are extra.
Music and ballz. And that's it. I have nothing to gain if anybody likes my firework videos.
It was more of a gain of taking a picture and saying, done.
No.
To me.
No.
Because
I've never done that. No.
I would have loved that though.
No.
I thought that I've been waiting.
You've been waiting? Now,
seriously.
ask me if I've put up if I've given my studio in the basement the same treatment, because the answer is no, I have not. I didn't put up drywall in the basement. All of the plumbing is still exposed, but I've got all my camera gear down there, and there's just no point moving it.
You're still avoiding the question.
I'm not.
How long have you had the cat door? Exactly.
Amber, how do you turn it on?
It's probably not. I'll bet you it's not charged.
AJ, you got to hold that in your hand like a fan in church.
I'll bet you that it's not charged. All right, that's recording. That's
Doesn't
recording.
It work when it's plugged in?
That's really bright. Does that have a dimming feature on it?
Does it have a dimmer?
You look white.
I got it.
So we got to Rembrandt this, and you need to put it off to the side of your face where your boom stand is not, if you're able to, because you're casting a shadow on your own face.
How come you guys got green little things flickering?
Okay, so that's cool. We can light your double chin too.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a spot to set that right over there?
Put it on top of your head and shine it straight down. Right on your bomb.
If it has a dimmer, you can throw the dimmer on there. If that's a really white light, what's she use that for? Is that for product videos?
No, it's for makeup.
It's for doing like little videos that she puts product on.
That's what he just said in the reverse order of saying it.
No, for like her speaking to
Freudian, people. Man. Freudian, I'm telling you.
Is that for product videos? No, it's for videos that she does a product.
You got it all wrong. It's for videos that she does a product. Yeah.
When she's talking about it. Yeah, that is really bright. How the f can I tone that down?
So that,
oh my God.
There's two kinds of light. There's really pleasing light, which is warm.
And then there's
there's that light. That's like a product light, which is fine. If you can change the color temperature, awesome. Make it a little warmer. If not, then you can just keep it off. That's fine.
How much one's better, that or that?
I would go with that just because that's warmer.
This?
Yeah. And I can see the features in your face. That looks like you're making copies at the office.
Okay. Well, never mind on this.
It's okay. We'll get you a good one. Get you a good one. Where'd this damn thing go? Okay. Nope, that's not it. That.
Right. About that. Oh. I said, how about this?
We're recording?
That looks terrible.
To the Rhythm Pyro podcast, where Posey, AJ, and Jamie ignite your passion for pyro musical show design while testing the very limits of your capacity for stupid.
Hi, hold on a minute.
Ooh.
Click, click.
It's because I'm not inside of, it's because I clicked out of Reaper to get to my notes. Boy, I hope this uploaded to the cloud when I was doing my notes for this episode at the Popeyes earlier.
Popeye's chicken is the seasoning.
I love when Chasen did that for Halloween. It was the best. You even did like the little mouth thing.
Not in your face.
It's just shit.
God, I swear.
He got so much candy that year because everybody like my age knew what it was.
Yeah.
So like he's the same kid's age. And he would do it to everybody my age, and they would be like, "Oh my God, I love it!" And the kids are like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "You'll never understand, kid."
AJ's walking around with a T-shirt that says, "What's mine say?"
He went his Trump one year, didn't he?
That was last year.
Yeah,
that was good too.
That was really funny. It's extremely funny.
How many times did he not get candy?
Twice.
How many times did he get off of my front porch?
One, he was given the candy in his hand, and it was kind of dark. And the lady goes, "It's kind of dark. What are you supposed to be?" And he's like, "I'm Trump."
I'd like you to give me candy.
"Oh no, I'm sorry. You have to give me that candy back."
Did he give it back
really
or did he go?
Yeah, no, he gave it back to her.
He did
record it?
And then
It's
she
polite.
took it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. So even as
I
a...
hope you recorded it.
No, we didn't get that recorded. Actually,
That's awful. She should have at least just been like, it's one thing to like razzmatazz. Like that's the thing with jabs and jokes. You give a jab, you give a joke, but then right after it's over, you do right. You do good.
Or
and
as
then all's
AJ
well
says,
with the world.
I was just kidding.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Why are you so sensitive? Yeah.
the best one was we went down the street and there was a Kamala Harris sign, and he passed that house. I'm like, just go to the next one. I'm like, it's fine.
He's
So we
picking
went
up
to the
on.
next one, and it had Kamala Harris out there, and he went walking up. He stopped before he got on their property. He's like, "Is it okay?" And the wife was like, "Oh my God!" She called her husband. She's like, "Come here, look at this! Oh my God, this is great!" And she loved it. They was laughing. She got candy from him.
That's funny.
Welcome to the Rhythm Pyro Podcast. I'm Bo. That's AJ.
Hola.
That's Jamie.
What's up?
And we're hobbyists and semi-professional pyro show designers. And this podcast is a place where we can get together, talk shop, fireworks, art, and share some tips, tricks, news, and design insights with you.
We've got a message from one of our favorite enablers. Sponsor. This week, COBRA Firing Systems. COBRA wants to give a huge shout out to the Rhythm Pyro for keeping the fireworks passion alive and proving that sleep is optional when you're chasing the perfect show. They're proud to support the show and, more importantly, the incredible pyro community, the only group of people who think too many fireworks is, a made-up concept. Massive thanks to Scott and the COBRA team for support and for giving us a way to light up the sky without having to sprint away like a movie action hero.
Hell yeah.
So go check them out at COBRAFiringSystems.com.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Speaking of firing systems, yours is a big investment. So why don't you make it your own, make it sexy? Go make it muuxBRD. CJ Jerzak over at muuxBRD is a circuit board designer, an experienced industry pyro, offering breakout boards, slats, accessories for a variety of firing systems meant to improve your workflow on and off the field. muuxBRD has what you need. Visit muuxBRD.com, muuxBRD.com. Thank you, CJ, for sponsoring this episode. Yeah. God, those are so bright.
I know.
So those are so bright. It's dimmer time. I'm telling you, dude, what I plugged the one in and the whole room, because I tested it with this scene to see how it's going to look right here on the wall. And it looked like Tron Legacy in here.
Yeah. I look like you're like, all right, get the glow sticks out. Time to get down.
Oh, this is ruining my aesthetic. This is completely ruining my aesthetic. We have to do something with this. It just can't work in these conditions. Okay. All right. This week's episode is going to be kind of, I guess let me get back to my other notes. Yeah. I always forget to do the calls to action. I forget about it. Go join the Discord community. Share us around your social circles. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are the heartbeat of this podcast. Thank you so much for contributing. You guys are great. If you want to join Team Rhythm, go check out Patreon, patreon.com/Rhythm Pyro.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So, boys, here in about a month, we're about a month away from COBRACon, and we're going to be kissing some hands and shaking some babies. But we've also got very important jobs in the event, very important jobs to teach you guys some stuff, hopefully. Some
learn
useful
you
stuff.
some stuff.
Learn you some stuff. So we're going to spend, this is actually kind of a refresher for us because we need to get back into, we took a break at the end of the year and then we came back and then immediately did a bunch of interview stuff. And with the pyro season gearing up, this is the best time of year to start teaching and sharing concepts and educational stuff. So that's exactly what we're going to try to do the vast majority of this month, all the way through COBRACon and probably beyond. So we're going to start getting the machine oiled back up. But this episode is actually a video episode. So go check out YouTube. It'll be up on there. If there's things that don't make sense to you, if you're a car listener, which the vast majority of you are, podcast platforms, that's awesome. All well, fine and good. We'll try our best to articulate this stuff out loud. But if you need visual references, they're going to be up on the YouTube page, the Rhythm Pyro Podcast. Look us up on YouTube and the episode will be there. And then Den is going to be back with us here later in the episode for Cake Talk. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be, he's kind of a guinea pig for the first Cake Talk episode with video. So that'll be cool. Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, guinea bear.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I got thinking about it and we're like, wow, this is, we're showing off firework cakes and we always try our best to, like talk about them so people understand what's going
understand
on.
Exactly what's in the video.
Understand exactly
but all three of us are in a different time area on the...
Yeah, we're all watching the same video at a different spot on the video.
Where do you see Crackle at?
Man,
you're not there yet.
This cake is it's cram packed. There's so much stuff in there.
I'm on the sponsor link still.
Yeah. So,
ding, ding, ding.
All right, so let's do this. So we're doing, this week's episode is all about site mapping. And it's not so much on the creative side of site mapping as it pertains to really laying out positions. It's meant to be, we were going to start a series called the Rhythm Pyro Musical Masterclass. And I guess you could call this a part of that series, which one, makes it video and has the video content, but two, it's content that is relative to the pyro musical process, from the
start to finish.
Yeah, from start to finish. So we're going to cover very hyper specific tasks and hopefully kind of break that stuff down for you. But I've got we're talking about site mapping and some of the best tools that you can use to get safety distances, to determine where determine your fallout zones, layout. You can do site layout. I did site layout for years using just Google products. And still, to be quite honest, to this day, it's exactly what you use. Because I don't have Finale 3D Pro. I can't afford that. What do you guys like to use for site mapping before we dive into the screen share and some of the specific stuff?
Jamie.
My favorite is Google Earth if I'm not on the shoot site.
Right. You take one look at Google Maps and you go, you know what? Yeah, I can totally fit a piece of plywood right there.
Exactly. Good to go. Yeah. I mean, Google Earth gives me a nice frame of reference, IRL, when I'm not on site, and I can take a point of reference and determine what is my total width when I'm designing a layout. And then when I go out to set it up, I've already know I have 500 feet. I need 300. Where am I going to put it? And I can GPS drop a point if I've got a signal out there and find it pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. Right. AJ, what about you? Where do you start?
Google Earth as well. Ever since, was it 2019 when you showed me this, when we did the Keys Camp thing?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to know how to do it and you gave me the whole lowdown and everything. And I never even opened this program till then. So it was one of those, I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it also really wakes you up because then when you go back to some other shoot sites and you like do your fallout, you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. You can also see the stuff behind in the fallout
backyard
zone.
Regulation size or what?
You can tell if they got soybeans or corn in the field out back.
Yeah. Maps has some, and I'm very specifically saying maps. I'm not misstepping and not saying Earth. If you get a new client or new sponsor and you get invited out to a site, typically when that sponsor is like, hey, what do you think of this particular address? If you're on the go or something, maps is okay for, pulling up an address and just giving it a quick look and saying, oh, okay, yeah, I think I can shoot fireworks there. But obviously you never base we can do this or, here's the site plan or how big a shells or proposals or anything. I really don't base any of that stuff on Google Maps. For the most part, that's just a quick frame of reference to find out if you have space. Google Earth is an excellent tool for getting a site layout together where you have something finished and presentable that you can absolutely, one, put in front of your client or your sponsor and say, hey, here's where the spectators are going to be, or where do you, Mr. Sponsor, think that the spectators are going to be? But it's a great tool for the safety guys too. Give it to the AHJ and say, hey, look, here's all my fallout zones. Here's where my front lines are. And here's the distance from any personal property and spectators.
It's also perfect. Like for last year at Adelissa, we gave it to the fire department and said, these streets need to be closed down during these hours, and was able to mark them out in different colors. So that way they position themselves in the correct locations to keep traffic flow from moving around out there.
Totally.
Because like you said, it gives them a great sight picture to look at and be like, okay, I know exactly what he wants. Not just, hey, from that corner to that corner.
Yep.
It's also great when it's 3 a.m. and you're setting up a 4x8 with a 15-foot tower and there's no lights in sight.
What?
Other than your cell phone.
Yeah, you get your flashlight out and look at your map. I think I'm in the right spot.
No, I just pull out my Google Earth on my phone and be like, yep, I'm right here. I'm on my pen.
You know what was really, what's really interesting, but I guess before we get into the visual aids that go along with that, there was one year where I had this bright idea where I was going to belay using printouts, just the old school printouts for stuff. Yeah, it was an octoblast. And it was talk about terrible ideas, man. I don't know if GPS technology just wasn't there yet.
Yeah, it didn't work that good that year.
It didn't. Because I sent Sean, I remember Sean and Logan and maybe even you, Jamie, you guys went out to the field and I said, well, just use Google Maps. I put all of the coordinates, the latitudes and longitudes of every single one of the positions in something that everybody could easily click and it would drop a pin in Google Maps and then you could just walk to the pin.
Right.
Well, they would walk to a position and they would stand there for 30 seconds or 45 seconds. They'd start unloading onto the ground, and then all of a sudden the pin would move and go someplace else.
Hey, come on, the Earth's rotating.
Yeah, it's rotating. It didn't take a half an hour for Logan to send me a text, and he's like, "Bo, this just isn't going to work." It's like, did you bring a printer? No, I didn't. In fact, bring a printer.
Can't beat the paper method.
Yeah, right.
That was Stranger Things, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, that was Stranger
Things. With all the
Things.
DMX.
I haven't seen you, well, I guess I haven't been on site with you in a minute, but you still use the finder? What is that thing called?
Rangefinder.
Rangefinder.
I got a wheel, a walking wheel. Yeah. The rangefinder I bought because I was using it at the lake a lot. That was the only way that we had to, you can't get a freaking wheel out and use it on the lake.
there's a boat and a 300-foot tape.
All right, take this string and hold it out there and there. All right, come on in. We'll measure this.
Dude, I'll tell you what, this isn't totally getting off topic, but what was amazing is, do you remember when you were like, hey, instead of using the rangefinder at the lake, what if we use the drone to do it?
Oh, yeah.
That worked so well. I've done it every single year since.
Yeah. Avoids the tree, though.
Yeah. Well, you just
You're never going to live that down.
The things you do to get the perfect shot. The things you do to get it was a perfect shot. Yeah. The before was pretty, and then the after was hysterical,
entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the way we were trying to get it down.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm sharing my screen, and this is a top-down look of the site that we shoot Octoblast at. And here in a minute, I'll pull up the vast majority of, I think it's the old Stranger Things site layout. But I just want to walk people through some really basic concepts inside of Google Earth. This is Google Earth Pro. It's free. Go download it. It's a fantastic program for essentially getting very basic information, right? So as you kind of look at this site, the totality of this site is essentially all of this area here. It's a whole lot of nothing, and it's absolutely perfect for what we do. John, it's John and Mary Pat Mueller property, and they're part of BPG, and it's a fantastic place to shoot. But let's go over some of the tools. So up here on the bar, you've got a ruler tool, and this is really the tool that you're going to use the most. Yep. So the really basic stuff, I always like to start with, say you're talking to a sponsor about.
Hold on. Why didn't the screen pop up so that you had options of which ruler you wanted to use?
Oh, you know what? Thank you for saying that. I think I need to change something here. Hold tight. Now can you see it?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, cool.
Woo-hoo.
Okay, so this is when you click this little ruler icon here on the top bar, you're going to get the ruler menu, and there's a bunch of different options for different shapes that you can construct in the environment. And when you open the ruler option, notice that you can't move around. So I'm left clicking right now to grab and move the map around. But once you open the ruler tool, the tool kind of becomes the new tool, whichever tab you're on. So if I draw a line, I get a line. If I start doing a path, then I get a path, yada, yada, yada. So you can clear all of that stuff out. Just know that you can't, like, if you want to move stuff around, you kind of have to get out of the tool to do that. Cause I don't think you can, I don't think there's any other way to get around that. Now, the controls are kind of clunky when you're in a 3D environment, because essentially that's what this is. It's a 3D environment. So you have to get used to some things. But again, just like any other tool, once you get used to things, it becomes a lot easier to navigate. But what I'm going to do is...
And if I can figure it out, you can figure it out.
You got this. So I'm just going to... What I'll do, and if you guys want to chime in, we can go through some of that other stuff later. But I'm just going to do some of the really basic skill sets and workflows. And then as we wrap that stuff up, then I'll pull up my Octoblast, main show map, and then we can kind of go off of that. So first thing that I usually do is I'll work with the property owner or the sponsor or whoever to figure out where the viewing area is going to be. So I use the path tool for this typically. And I will, in the case of Octoblast, this property down here is essentially exactly what that is. So, just like a rough estimation of what the viewing area looks like and how that's going to be mapped off is to do something similar to this. Take that. So, and then once this is done, you can hit save on your shapes, and it will save those shapes into your bucket over here as probably a temporary place. And then you can create subfolders to move that stuff into. So if I hit save on this guy, it will save this shape and it brings up this sub menu. So what I'll do is I'm just going to name this spectator. I'll just do spectator area, and then you can color it too. So like just to keep things visibly different. I think,
really?
Shut up. Picking a different one. We'll do.
What's wrong with red on green, but AJ?
I'm sorry, Mr. Firework Man. I don't see it. You say that the spectators are going to be right here, but I just don't see it. All right, so I usually pick green for these, I think. So we'll pick green for this line.
Really?
Green on green. You can see that, AJ.
Yeah. Green on green.
I can see it.
Yeah. So let's see. There's width. You can change the width of the lines. And there's a way in here too. It's been a minute since I hopped in here to do a measurement, but there's a way that you can essentially fill in this spot. I think it may be with a different tool altogether.
Well, it's properties once you go to it.
Well, I think it's the polygon. It might be the polygon tool that I did it with. Because you can take...
Oh, you mean where it's all one solid color?
It fills up the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like this. So you do something like that. And then I want to change this to square feet. So you can change your unit of measurement too on this thing. So this right now we've got it as feet and square feet.
So you Canadian people.
Yeah, right. Kilometers.
Hey.
It's gonna take me an hour to walk from this area to that area in kilometers.
With a scooter.
Not with a scooter. All right, so we'll pick green again. Green, and then here's the area color fill in. So you've got your line. Your line can be one color, and then your area can be another color. So we'll take that and just make it like a darker green. And then you can change the opacity of it too. So we'll hit OK, and then oh, is that the area of might be the area of the line? What was the one that filled it in? I could have sworn that there was one that filled this thing in. Oh, it's outline. There it is, filled. Got it. Perfect. You change the fill area right here. Filled, outline, filled plus outline. All right. So now you got one big teal mass, right? And if you want to label this stuff, because that's prudent, you go up to the toolbar here again, and then you can click on the pin. There's a little pin icon. You can take that bad boy, place it down, and you can title it.
Move the pin first before you push OK, though, because if not, you have to reopen it so you guys know you have to reopen.
Yeah, right. So as long as this window is open, you're able to move this pin around. The minute that you close this window, you can no longer do that because you go back to viewing things in a 3D space. So your basic navigational controls in here, left click will drag you along this axis. And then what do you call that when in like drone flying land? That's not your
your yaw.
No, your yaw is this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know. Not a pilot.
Are you the one with the simulator?
I was. It's been 2 years.
Is it your X and Y axis?
There you go.
Yeah. Well, relative
X
to where you are.
horizontal and Y is vertical.
Relative to where you are, yes. So, and then your middle mouse button, or at least for me, I don't think I changed any of these. This actually pans you kind of so you can see some of these things in 3D space, since Google tries to render some of this crap in 3D space. But that'll get you back to your top down, and then the right clicking will do some zooming for you. But okay, so here's our spectators. Now let's go out here and figure out how far our front line is. Well, and to do that for like 1.4 shows, for example, we want to figure out, say we have 62 millimeter shells, and we want to figure out how far back we need to put those 62 millimeter shells so we don't get anybody in the fallout zone. So we're going to go back to our ruler, and then we're going to go into circle. And then I've got feet selected for radius, and then square feet as well. So we'll take this, drag it off to the side. Now we're just going to pick a random spot that looks like, eyeball it and say that there's somewhere in the middle. We can get our exact middle based on spectators later, but I just click once and then kind of drag. And then you can kind of see right here where you've got a radius that's starting to fill up. And that's going to show you, how far that fallout zone is to your spectators. So,
and that's from the center out, not
correct.
Total the full circle, so people know.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, and I throw this out. So how you just kind of guessed, what am I just drawing? I always do it from the spectator line. I just draw a straight line out, and then I know where to start.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you can totally do that. So if we do this and get rid of that, clear it, take a line and go from the front of the spectators and just go visibly out. So we'll go to, I don't know, let's call it, what do we got? So 62 millimeters. What's that? 2 3/4?
2 3/8.
2 3/8.
2.7. Well, are we doing 100 feet or 70
just
feet?
For the sake of simplicity, let's just do 100 feet.
238 feet. Then.
Okay, 238. Look at that! I didn't even move the mouse. It's right there.
It's because you know where that line is anyways, just from memory.
Done this before. I hope I'm recording. Yeah, I'm recording this. All right, cool. Let's freak out. God, I swear to God, this is like flying a toaster in space, man. Okay, so we got our line.
Episode 1, series 1.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we got our line right here, and then what I'll do is I'll just keep this, and actually, I wonder if I can pin that with the line right there. I'll pin it. So we got a good starting point, and then I'm going to take you can save this line if you'd like. If you want to save this line for a point of relativity, just so you know what that is, that's 238 feet. So I can hit save here, and then I can go, 238 foot line to from spec to center field. Okay. Then hit OK. And then I'm just keeping that label for the sake of keeping it, but feel free to use the pin tool, the actual push pin tool to label some of these lines if you need an actual indicator in the field.
It's best to label everything anyways, because if not, you'll forget eventually.
Yeah.
And you'll have to just start clicking stuff and figure out which one's what.
Yep.
Very useful for using the shoot site every year.
Correct. Yeah, because once you get a shoot site kind of pegged, it's a great tool to kind of come back to over and over as a lead shooter and just provide that same shoot map if you're really not changing anything huge regarding your site map either. So, all right, so we'll take this, and then from this point, we'll go ahead and start drawing. So we'll just say, let's see. So we'll say 236 feet, right?
238.
238. All right, relatively good. That's really close. But again, it's like NFPA recommends 70 feet per inch. Realistically, I think if I compared this to the old site map for Octoblast, I think some of the shell positions are actually back a little further. The way that this field is laid out, it kind of it spans this way, but then where you see the grass line kind of take this shape, it actually goes downhill into a valley quite a bit over here. So it's not exactly level. But yeah, so using the circle tool and clicking and expanding this and then keeping an eye on your radius is a great way to determine your fallout zone for particular shells, right? And then you can take this guy and then we'll call this, what's
center?
Yeah, just call
I
it.
always call it center.
Center
fallout.
Call it center 62 millimeter. Well, because we'll figure this wouldn't exactly be 3-inch shells. 3-inch shells
or center breaking.
Yes, right. You can get to a point as this builds itself out, for the sake of fleshing out a footprint that works for your AHJ and your actual shoot site. As you start to flesh this stuff out, you can start adding pins and doing things very particular on how you're going to do them on shoot day and doing your entire site plan inside of a software like Google Earth. There are ways to take snapshots of your field at certain heights and values. And then if you keep your eye on some of the relative map data, the old school 4th grade, an inch is so many feet. You can take screenshots of your entire shoot site and import that into a program like Finale 3D and then set the relative map area and then do all of your mapping inside of Finale 3D too. And that's how I have to do it as a hobbyist because I don't have Pro, so I don't have the money to afford, the program that's got all of their mapping features. But that's just it's another way to do it. So, all right. So we got that first position there. And then say we want to do another couple, right? AJ, how far out you like to go on your wings for, let me get out of this tool. Let's go back to the line tool to get the next measurement.
For my wings, I always, from this area, I would think of how far out I'm going to put my farthest station. And then I would do another fallout zone for that.
All right, so let's do...
Before I did anything.
Let's figure out what this distance is from center to the tree line. So we got 260 feet to our... let's see, that
right
is
side.
Stage right, and then audience right. And then to the audience's left, we have 280 feet. I would say that this is not exactly... relative to how this field usually shakes out, because when you get over here, this little spit of land is almost like on an island of its own. So you almost have to bend a little bit with it. Doing this site correctly is actually kind of going on this plane, because then you get a nice straight line, and then you just set your spectator area to be relative to whatever that front line is. But I'd say this is that's about the same, 260 feet off to that side. If we go over here, it's about 260 feet. So, all right. So if we do, what's half 260?
Half 130.
130. So if we did 260 there, we could take this and make another line here, go here, and then there's a 130 line. So we'll save this. We'll say 130, save, and then we'll say 130 left. And then grab our line tool again, and then we'll go from center, and then we'll do another one, 130 right about there.
I wish there was a way they'd let you just type it in.
Yeah,
it's the one thing that I've been waiting for.
Yeah, because you just kind of around with it until it looks right, and it's like for the most part, the stuff winds up being
within a few feet.
Yeah, it's approximate, and approximate is okay. You know, so long as you're like, that's why it's always good to give yourself some padding and spacing when you're doing your layouts, so you can make sure that things work. Like on the challenge that I had with this field year one was I'd never been to the site before I laid it out. So I didn't plan for how much elevation changes over here. So when we had to move the front line up, it really affected some of the cake fallout zones that I had in that back line. So we had to make some sacrifices and then wind up moving those cake lines back on show day relative to where they were supposed to be. So really that kind of changed the way that the site picture looked from a perspective point of view, right? Because you're taking stuff that should realistically be filling up your mid, and then the more you move it back, the further down in the vertical spectrum it goes relative to your front line, you know? So, all right, so we got that, and then we'll take and save this, and then we'll call this 130 right. And then from this point, do the same old, right? Grab a fallout zone. Now this one I think is going to be, this would probably be cutting it a little closer. We're at 217 right there. We're shell position.
And this is great why we're talking about what we're talking about, because you'll find out, oh, hey, 238 from the center out actually needs to go back farther.
Yep.
Because of your outer positions and how you have to have it angled.
Yeah, totally. All right. And then what did we figure? What was the radius on the first
238.
one? 238. All right. So that's 238 exactly. So you can take this guy, save it, and then we'll call this 62 millimeter right. And then let's see, can we grab these? And so I don't think you can grab a position and move it after the fact, can you?
I
think you have to.
Tried.
I don't think you can. I think you have to. So go over here, 62 millimeters right, property, view.
Go to measurements. Oh, no.
Length, nah. Altitude, view, style, color, description.
Nope.
Nah, you can't move it. Yep. So to replace that, like, you know, obviously the one thing you don't want to do is I would not cut the spectator position down. I'd just be taking this entire front line, and realistically, if we lived in like this world, which we do, because I think we have a lot of these positions actually back here in more modern years.
And when you come across this too, you could really just zoom in on the spectator position and where the circle goes in and do that measurement and say, hey, that 230 out from center, we have to push it back to whatever it needs to be to keep that one in place.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So those are some of the basic tools for getting fallout zone measurements. Great for fallout zone measurements. Another cool little trick to keep in mind is, so if we did, like, you know, say we have a pin and we want to drop a pin for each one of these positions, you know, say that these worked. So we'll call this 62 millimeter right. And then we'll make another one for 62 millimeter left. And then see, even I did it.
You did.
I did it.
Well, you always move it first, guys.
Take this. You can right click on top of the pin, hit properties, and then that's how you can kind of grab it and move it. So we'll take that. And so we've got all of these, and now we want to rename this one. So I'm right clicking on it and then going into the properties menu, and we'll call this 62 millimeter C for center. So now that I have all three of these, you can, over here, Google Earth by default populates all of this stuff into your temporary places. So I created a tutorial folder here. So I'm going to go to our site mapping tutorial, and I'm actually going to create a folder. So I right click on top of my RPP site mapping folder, which I created the same exact method. And then I'm going to go to add and then folder. And then I'm going to call this 62 millimeter and then hit OK. And then that just created a folder. Think of the RPP site mapping folder as your show, right? That's your entire show. And then you can create subfolders that represent all of the things that have to do with very specific elements in your shoot site. So you're going to have
safety, shoot site itself, spectators only, roads, entrances, exits, that kind of thing.
It allows you to create screenshot maps of very specific stuff. So if I take everything related to the 62s that we just did, and I'm talking just the positions themselves. So I'll take all of the pins, and then...
Are you holding shift as you select?
I'm holding control. So I can, and then I'm left clicking so I can grab each one of these. So I've got center, I've got right. What am I missing?
130 left, 130 right. 130
left, 130. Okay, those are the measurement lines. So we can grab those, put those in 62 millimeter 2. And then that's the center line to center field. We'll leave that one outside of the folder just for the sake of example. And then this guy is actually, we'll call this, I need to rename this so it's the same as the others, 62 millimeter center. So we'll take this and put that in the 62 millimeter folder.
Name it something different though, because you have two 62 millimeter CC.
Well, I got one actually here. Well, this is a good point. So so if I right click on the 62 millimeter, I'm going to make another folder inside of that. And I'm going to make one called fallout zones. And then I'll make one that's called positions, launch positions. So now I've got two subfolders inside of my 62 millimeter folder, one for fallout zones and one for launch positions. So I'm going to take my position pins, 62 millimeter left, right, and center, and I'm going to drag those into the launch positions folder. And then I'll close it up. And then same thing with the fallout zones. I'll grab 62 millimeter right and center, since those are the only two that I have made so far, and put those in fallout zones. So now this way, if we close up the entirety of everything that I have inside this site so far, which is just the positions in the fallout zones, if I toggle that on and off with the master check mark next to that folder, it will either expose and show them or hide them, which is great. So if I'm talking to an AHJ, for example, and he wants to know exactly what my fallout zones look like relative to the spectator area, then I can get rid of the launch positions. And then he's essentially got a really simplistic top-down view of how these go. And then he's going to tell me to get lost because little Billy's going to take some shell debris right to the old noggin. All right, what other little tools do we think are good to hit? Because I guess you could apply those same principles to your front lines as well.
Correct. And I guess something I always do is, if you've never been to a site and you don't, again, like you said, the back end kind of goes down. If you can see your shoot site from the road, can you double click on the road so you can get the road view?
Yeah, we'll go over here, and then so in Google Maps they've got
just double click the road where you want to go. Double click it.
There you go.
Yeah, so there's no street view from there.
Yeah, because this is literally out in the middle of nowhere.
If there has been a Google Drive car, though, that drove down that road, you'll be able to see the site. I wouldn't trust this 3D rendering.
Can you rotate the other way towards the shoot site? Yeah.
Until it sucks you into the earth.
Are you able to pan at you should be able to pan at a different angle, though. Can't show.
Hold on. I think if you go down, Google tries to generate 3D renderings of this, but I would not, like, I don't trust Google's like their elevation maps, their topology maps to save my life. Which is to say they don't even really have them. I'm sure there's some tool sets that they might provide to developers or commercial entities that do topology, but it's not stellar for this application.
It at least can warn you that, oh, wait, I got some extra work to figure this out on site.
Right.
Like Skywars, for example. Like you can see a little bit of elevation.
Right. Yeah.
In there, but you're like, you show up at Skywars, you're like, oh, I didn't bring any lumber to build platforms.
Yep.
Level my racks.
Right.
You can be prepared a little bit and know that there's some extra footwork to do once you show up.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So here's what I'll do. Now I'm going to close up the tutorial and I'm going to show you guys just a brief look at the Octoblast mapping from previous years. So you can see where a lot of this stuff got moved back relative to where it was. And actually, let me get rid of the temporary places on there too. Well, actually, that might be a good comparison. So I just took a wild guess at the spectator area here. And then in reality, I think this was a gross overestimation as to where the spectators are. In previous years, I think when we first started, we did a spectator map that goes out here and we figured that everybody was going to be in here, but it wound up shrinking quite a bit. And it's a lot closer to the road than it actually is. But if I get rid of that,
to be farther out than closer.
Correct. Yeah. And then I like using a little golf guy for my spectators. Okay. So this is
you can change those too, everybody too.
Yes,
like
you can change.
Instead of doing like pins, if you want to be like, oh hey, this spot is where the ambulance should go, you can choose an ambulance. I think there's a police in there too. There's other like fire hydrants, so that you can have like your safety stuff marked out there as well.
Yep.
And it's pinpointed differently.
I use your face.
It's Fallout Zone. It's right in the middle of the Fallout Zone.
It's right in the middle of the Fallout
right where
Zone.
wait a minute. Oh, look right here. SL4 is right on top of where Jamie's freaking 4x8 blew up the world. You can see the nuclear fallout, freaking meteor crater.
Can you see the hole in the ground from
from space? You can see the hole in the ground from space. Okay, so
and those Pyroline comets were still reaching for those trees.
Yeah. So this is the entire Octoblast layout from 2020, and we've more or less used a variation of this every year since to map the event. It's not really changed much. But
what's the big? It's a circle. Never mind.
Yeah, it's for the 8-inch. It blends in
with the trees. I couldn't see it. Okay.
Yeah, 8-inch and then 4-inch, and then these have changed. These have changed somewhat. I think when the BPG guys do it, they have a different way of mapping things out because I believe they've moved some of their 4 positions and 6s. Like this whole site is a big dog leg in one direction. So some of these positions have kind of changed because for this to be on the center line, you're not exactly in the center over here relative to the real spectator audience when the audience gets laid out.
Nice par 4.
Yeah, exactly. All of these measurements and the way that these lines were laid out was just chipping away at it, measurement after measurement, right? You get a relative center point, and then once you get that relative center point, you figure out how many positions you would like to shoot based on how many you think look good between different positions. So I didn't label any of these. All of these are just labeled measurement lines, but they're essentially just different measurement lines that allow me to keep a relative grid as I go from position to position.
Yeah. And now that you have like your F9 and your F1 and your slices, your outside positions, when you go to actually design your show, your limitations of what you're going to be able to work with in whatever program you're designing in.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. So that's kind of it for just very, very general site mapping when it comes to 1, getting basic measurements between your positions, and 2, creating something that is a nice visual aid to help you with sponsors and AHJs on site.
It is extremely helpful.
Anything else you guys want to add to this before we do cake talk?
I can't believe my tower is still on the sitemap there.
You know, this dude, every time I look at this reminds me of, do you remember Transit? You remember Transit and Call of Duty?
Yes.
The obelisk!
Every time.
The obelisk!
That's great.
Must find the obelisk.
I guess another thing, I mean, just like you did the spectator area, it's a pretty good idea too to also put in parking and all that stuff, and then use so that way you see if that's going to be in your fallout zone as well, because you just never know. So as much information you can put down on this map for your reference and for anybody that might ask, it's better. It takes a little bit, but once you get the program, it's actually fairly easy. And again, if I can figure it out, got the. If you.
And it's clunky too. Don't feel bad. I'm sure I would love to hear if anyone else has recommendations for other programs that they use to do this very same task. And again, I know Finale can totally do this. If you've got $1,200 that you want to drop on it every single year, maybe in a future video, I will show you how I take screenshots of essentially this area here and then import that into Finale and then let Finale do a lot of my distance and launch position measurements relative to the map itself.
You did that on Bruce's memorial. That
correct.
Was really, really cool.
Yeah, it was
really cool.
Yeah, it's neat. And it worked out really well. I think we didn't have to move any of those positions. I think the 8 had to move, but that was just because of logistical oversight and a miscommunication with Brian. But other than that, okay. Where's my thingy at? Let's do cake talk. Cake talk. Yummy. Welcome to Cake Talk, where Den Fireworks, our 1-4 subject matter expert, comes in and clues you guys in to what's hot, what's good, what you can use in Pyro musicals. You're going to love it. What's up, buddy?
What's happening?
How you doing, man?
Dude, living the dream, burning the candle on both ends, but you know what? I'm still upright and vertical. So I haven't collapsed yet. The fatal heart attack hasn't happened yet. We're good.
Yeah, you better knock on wood.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah,
no, we just met you.
No, Den.
What have you been doing, dude?
Honestly, I have been poking and prepping cakes because I am hoping to get a ton of demos up on 3 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
Because I need to free up room to get my next orders in, and I need some 200-gram cakes up on the channel. So it's just been every free hour. I've got 350 intro shot. And all of my free time that hasn't been work has been poking and prepping and landing queues and getting 3 demo shows ready and in the air.
It never ends, does it?
Nope, because as soon as that's done, then I'm going to have to edit videos. Then I got 3 orders coming in yet. Then I'm cut off from buying until the fall. I'm like, done.
I don't know. I have heard that from you before.
No, dude, I gotta be done. Like, this is at the time that like I have to be done.
Yeah.
Or the wife will probably kill me. So, all
right, man. What do you got for Cake Talk for us this week?
Well, I decided to mix it up a little and start Cake Talk off with shell talk. The Destroyer canister shells by Epic made me so happy when I found them.
Yeah.
I actually picked up 2 cases of them because I planned on using them right off in my Pyro musical. And I am really glad I did. And I actually have a 3rd case coming from them on my next Fireworks Forever order.
Yeah.
So they are 1.75 inch consumer cans. They are single color cans. So they come 6 to a pack. You have a yellow, an orange, a purple, a pink, a green, and a blue shell. So because I wanted to use these for my Pyro musical, so all of my angled racks, I have a regular quick split muuxBRD attached to.
Yeah.
I can easily light 3 rows at once. But because I really wanted to check the timing consistency between all of these shells, CJ makes a breakout board for the mongoose that allows you to use 6Q COBRA Qs on it instead of just a DB25 to a 24Q.
Yeah.
So you can use 4 Cat5 cables. And then I picked up some of his 6x4 quick splits so I could direct match 3 shells at a time to get a comparison on what's the timing like on each of the shells as they go up through the break.
Yeah.
Because sending 3 up at once to gauge that time better, I thought would help me more for my musical.
Yeah, absolutely.
These are some beautiful single color shells, and they hit. They're a 4-inch can. I direct matched all of them. And I mean, look at the timing on that yellow shell right there. The one of them didn't go off because I had screwed the 6x4 right into the rack. Yeah, the timing between those breaks is
that's pretty
really,
good.
really
That's
close.
That's really good for canister shells.
And they hit. Like I had the sound blocked because I didn't know if it would mess up our audio feed on this.
Have it feed in for sure. Yeah, we can hear it now, or I can. That's pink or purple?
That was the
second one.
That was the
really
that
nice.
was the purple, and they're beautiful shells.
Yeah,
and that timing is so close on them. Definitely love these shells, and I've got a lot of them going in my PGI show as well.
Yeah,
because how many 62 millimeters can you find in pink, in orange? I mean, you really can't.
Careful.
But even if you can, you still get that lower effect off of them.
They got. I mean, dude, I'm really impressed with the time. Right, the break time is very consistent for the batch that you got. That blue is worthy of talking about too. Does it actually burn that vibrantly in person?
Yes, it does. It is a gorgeous blue. And we'll pop those again.
Yeah.
It's not that super dim, long burning blue. It's actually got it's got a good hue to it.
Yep. It's a nice strong burn of it. The color definitely pops. And like I said, I still have a case in the shed.
Yeah.
And on my string order with Marcus right now, I've already got another case in there. Because I can see myself using these so many places.
Yeah. What did you say that these are packed wholesale?
They are 12.6 wholesale.
12.6 wholesale. Cool. Did pretty good value.
Yes. But I mean, we have a good group buy price with Fireworks Forever too.
Yeah.
But yes. The non-discount price tier sheet I have, these are packed 12.6 and it's $133.20 for a case.
Nice, dude.
Oh, wow.
So, all right, question for the quorum here. How would you guys use traditional non-rising effect canister shells in a Pyro musical?
Just like 62s, especially if these are... Did you do the timing on these yet? Did you notice that color to color, the rise time was about the same for all of them?
They're really close.
Okay. So then they're usable in that fashion too then.
Yeah, I'm using a whole bunch of the pinks at PGI.
Attaboy.
Well, it's a solid colors. Like you said, it's hard to find those, and 62 is a solid color, especially like pink, purple, orange. I'm sorry, orange.
Orange.
Orange. That's my favorite color.
The exotic colors are totally worthy of, I mean, you can insert those in places that you would normally, like if you use like a blue or a red or a green, depending on obviously what you're doing around it, those more exotic colors, they fit really well in with different stuff. And it makes people go, whoa, that's cool. Don't see that color every day.
Yeah. And having those, you have an easier way to coordinate your shoot site. You have that option now on that higher level. So
And
that's nice find.
And they were it seemed like a very big break. Because what was your fan at rack at? What, 20 degrees?
I believe that rack is 15 default
15?
when it comes in. Yep.
And they were all within each other. So, I mean, they're good size.
Yeah, no, they're a good size break. They're a hard hitting break. And it's another testament to the 4-inch can is really all we need.
Yeah.
You know, I hate seeing these
Save
6
the
and
waste.
7-inch cans with all this extra cardboard
9-inch
and
cans for
shipping.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they hit really good. They break huge, and it's that single color. I was so happy I decided to give these ones a try, and they were exactly what I was looking for.
Love it,
And
dude.
I'm still stoked with them.
Sweet, man. What's
He's
next?
been listening to us.
He's been listening to us. It sounds like you've been listening to him, Dick. Hey, Marcus, I want what he just said. He was just talking about this past week.
No. He said the mid level and all that.
Right. So my next one is a little different from a variation. It is Terminator by Black Scorpion. I loved that all of the rows in this one are the same.
Perfect. Nice.
It has some of the best, largest lace I have seen in a consumer cake.
Really?
So we have the 5
What's that
rows
insert
of 5.
size?
These ones are, I believe, 1 inch. I've started measuring them now that you guys have been asking on the later intro videos.
Yeah.
But these ones, I believe, are 1 inch bores on it.
Nice.
It looks bigger.
Well, I think.
It's just the lens that he's using.
So
Ooh.
It's a nice rising effect.
you get a rise, you get the swimming effect, and then look at that lace coming in after.
Wow.
That's pretty.
All 5 rows are the same. This is an easy turn into a slice. And, you know, Den Fireworks does pride itself on the video quality. That lace was so good in person, though.
Yeah. Lace is it's a profound effect, man. And I think it's one that people are always argue. They're like, man, it's played out. Same thing with like Crackle a number of years ago. Everybody really used it. And I guess the choreograph guys, like, we never really got totally into,
somebody had low P though. Oh, are they talking
They're
about you, man?
It was listening to
They're
what we were
listening.
talking about.
I mean, lace is a great secondary effect for, when it comes to consumer. It's
Right. And starting with the swimmers
unexpected.
first, that you get the nice brocade. You have the swimmers or dragons, or everybody calls it something
the
different
lost
still.
children.
And then you just get that lace filling up the whole sky.
Yeah.
That is consumer. That's crazy.
It is a gorgeous consumer cake. And I mean, I could see myself using this in a bunch of different segments.
Yeah, and it's usable in so many manners too. I mean, you could use it as a hit point because you have a rising effect coming off of it, especially if you find a song that allows you to use that hit and then the breaks hit when they're supposed to as well, like on a secondary.
Yeah, let me go frame by frame on this guy. Like, all right, we got all of these. Look at that coming in. And then that lace just starts filling up.
Yep.
And I don't know if you can see the mouse pointer on the screen as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so this was launch point. This was 50 feet away. This was 50 feet away.
Cool. Wow.
So, I mean, this is a nice 150-foot spread of just gorgeous lace running through it.
Yeah.
And it's all the same.
Are we square?
So you can get
are we
5
square
slices
on this,
right
this
off.
view? Are we square on the camera angle with where the two are? They kind of catty corner to each other.
Well, it's the one cake. You are square. Like launch point is right here.
Okay. So what do you mean by the
pile.
by the distance measurement between the two?
Oh,
Are you
left
talking?
to right. Left to right.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
left to
All
right.
Field size.
Oh, gotcha. All right, cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for the width that it takes up. And so this is an easy 5 slices of the exact same effect. And I just think this is a beautiful cake.
Well,
Maybe you guys...
Cakes like that are
We'll see what other people think, but...
stellar for pyro musical designers, right? Because we don't have to go in and individually sim each row. Because the more stuff that you have in one cake, the more stuff you feel like you have to find and create a scene for it to fit. And you don't want to feel like you're shoehorning stuff into scenes within the pyro musical. Using stuff like this is it's a great poor man's slice for choruses,
And this one I can say I have 5 of them.
Yeah.
As I'm scripting, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. All right, we're good,
Now you're just bragging.
Did I label this right? Row 1. Is that up here? Oh, I forgot. I should have left the wrapper
right.
I forgot to write on the tube when I was done.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It doesn't matter. Not for this cake. I like it, man.
Black Scorpion makes just some really nice stuff, and they have a lot of unique effects in.
Yeah.
And trying this one, I was just like, yep, I need a case of that one. I only buy 1. Damn it.
Because you got 5 in each cake.
And what's this guy packed?
It's a 4-1 case.
4-1 case? Cool.
Yep.
I want to rename it Snake Eater. Looks more like
Smoke
Metal Gear
Eater.
Solid than Terminator.
It does actually. It does look like a snake.
Wait, hold on. You want a snake eater?
Here we go.
Wait.
Give the man a video, and he's gonna wiggle his
Too
ass.
soon.
That'll be blurred out.
Is that a new firework?
They just came back today from Sean from the Western Winter Blast.
Yeah.
And I miss them. I'm keeping them right close by now. Just you're back.
Does it reek of success?
I mean, parts of them. Some of the parts, I was like,
All right, man. What's next? All right, Silver Cyclone.
Silver Cyclone. So I wanted to mix in a little 200. I like the weird effects. There are a few different cakes with this effect, but I really like this. So you have a nice little strobe going up, and then you get that little spinner up in the air.
Yeah, you get some little farfalla spinner.
It's a little like in the air tourbillon.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun effect to throw in a little chaos on the low.
Totally.
The low to mid.
Especially if you line up the whole wall
man.
with it.
These ads.
You're good, man.
Especially if you line up the whole
Somebody's going to buy
line.
premium one day, you know? So it's over quick, but you can cut this up into your single shots as well.
Yeah.
To get that, I don't know, it's just a fun effect that I think the crowd, every time I've done Silver Cyclone or Brothers has a cake with the same effect, like it always sticks out to the crowd.
Yeah.
Because it's different. It's not a breaking effect. So people are used to just something going boom. When they see something do something different, they're like, whoa, what was that?
Right. They make that little zzz, and depending on the lyrics of songs, that's just a fun effect to throw up as well.
Yeah, it breaks
You
out.
know?
It can break up the monotony as you go, you know?
How's it go again?
This is a cake that they've made for a long time too. So,
Yep. You gotta respect the classics, man.
Reminds me, there was an old cake that Dominator had that did something very similar to that. But what's the shot count? 16?
16
That is
shots.
16. Cool.
And I did not pull up the case pack because I am a hack and a fraud.
That's 12-1.
Is it 12-1?
That's 12-1.
All right. I have it on good authority that this one comes 12-1.
Is that
But
God
when I look
speaking?
at the RKM site, it says 24-1. So, I have it on shaky authority that it comes 12-1, but according to some sites, it's 24-1. Your mileage may vary.
Your mileage may vary.
God,
Your experience may be altered.
God, I was going to say something, but I'm just
Go
going to
ahead.
keep it to
See
myself.
something, say something.
Oh,
Oh God. Yeah,
Yes.
the effects like that, I mean, you can take those, break those up into singles, but you're right. Like even breaking those up into singles and not getting crazy about coordinating colors, you can still do something with it just because of the nature of the effect. That the effect is so random in the way that it performs that it's great for sections of the music that you kind of want to cut loose on.
Right. Or like one of the songs I'm doing for PGI has a lot of like dance and like the motion keywords in it that, you know, I want to throw up a bunch of these to simulate that movement and that,
Yeah.
you know, for the words that we're hitting and just see if it works or not. We'll go. But I was thinking these with flying fish above them,
I like it.
you know, because that is just a complete dance movement.
I like it. We're really moving around. I
Right.
dig it.
so the flying. Oh no, that's a whole different conversation. Never mind. We'll dig way too far into this.
I'm not afraid, man. Let's go in. Let's dive down here. Come on.
Oh, yell at me.
We are all in fear of Bo, so I get
I
it.
don't know
What does
why.
that mean?
I don't know why. I don't
He's
know
Kung
why.
Fu master.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more.
So these are the 12-shot Pyro Boom racks with the double stack on them. I actually decommissioned all of my double stack racks from them just as a personal preference. So if there is a Kato or a flower pot, you know, there's less chance of tube-to-tube contact breaking apart. So I actually
Tube to
changed
tube,
them
tip to tip.
into... Oh, yeah.
I was thinking
Everyone's thinking it. Might as well say-
So I actually changed them into my Roman candle racks.
Yeah.
If I'm direct matching shelves, I will still put these back into circulation. But for the most part, they are a Roman candle rack for me
Sweet.
now. And I love barrage candles. Elite Fireworks has this USA Valor candle pack. There
It's
is
this
a
box.
red, a white, and a blue candle box pack. Whatever. These are
Wow.
awesome
Ooh, look at
candles
that.
for the fourth.
Strobe.
Yeah, that's really nice. So we're looking at
Red strobe, yellow strobe.
for the people that now that we have a visual reference here, I feel bad because
White.
we're not usually we talk about this stuff out loud so the people that are
I
listening
didn't
in
even think
audio
about that.
format can see it. Now we're just watching it and we're like, yeah, this is awesome.
Go
So-
to YouTube.
So this is what would you say the angle spread is on this candle box?
Thank you.
Do you know what that cone looks like?
I did measure it. I believe I was 10 degrees on the red and
Okay.
the blue.
Cool.
And well, because it's a Den Fireworks video,
Look at that.
Got
did
that
I
top
actually
down,
link
baby.
it? No, I didn't.
Red.
No.
That's some good
I
strobe.
showed how I fuse barrage candles
Nice.
because I know a lot of people have problems with barrage candles actually lighting off with an igniter.
Yeah.
So I do like to throw the quick fuse in underneath the whole mess and not light their original fuse.
Yeah.
Oh, these are singles that you did this with. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. For some reason, I thought it was an actual cake.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
these
yeah, I
are
did
the
too.
barrage candles.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
I thought I thought it was one of those new those fancy candle boxes. This is awesome. You did it all on your own.
Is that 3 different candles?
'Cause in
A
my
red
head, I
one,
was
white
thinking-
one, and a blue one?
Yeah, so it's 3 different candles. The case pack comes with 5 of each.
Oh, okay. I
Oh,
see it.
nice.
Oh, okay. I
Cool.
see it now.
What
And
'Cause
I
in my
did
head, I was
3 of
thinking-
each in it.
you got any tips for people that you can verbalize on fusing those big candle boxes together?
So if we go to 154 here, I believe. So the problems I have had matching or talenting barrage candles is talons I've actually had burn through that lead fuse
Yeah.
and just die. And the matches, usually this fuse is just thinner and I have a really hard time lighting it with the match.
Yeah.
So what I do is I take the top off, and now you can see that lead fuse, we just get this whole mess of all the other ones that light.
Yeah.
So I take some white fast fuse and run that in replace of the main lead fuse that they give you.
Okay.
And then I tape that down and I put my match on that white fuse.
Gotcha.
Because that white 3mm fuse, I've never had a problem with the match failing at lighting it. Where that little 2mm fuse,
will you
not so
cut
much.
or trim or anything to expose some of the pyrotechnic material inside the match? So
I usually angle cut the fuse
okay.
just to be safe, like at a 45 to give a little bit more black powder
Yeah.
on it. But really with the white perfect, it's really not needed. I've done 90-degree cuts as well and had it just light just fine.
Yeah.
But replacing that, because also, I mean, that green visco that they have, we have a slower burn rate off it as well.
Right.
Where if you run some of that quick hobby fuse, it's going to light all of those bores really quick instead.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I like that, dude. I mean, it's got a nice, all of the candles on their own. I mean, this is, how many together? 3, 4?
This is 3 of each.
3 of each together.
And
it's a nice, good.
That red
rate.
strobe, there's so many of the red strobe that actually fell so close to hitting the ground. The blue is super vibrant and that white is gorgeous as well. These are my favorite 4th candles.
Yeah.
And the reds I plan on using a lot in my October musical, just for that Halloween red glittering.
Yeah. The strobing, I'm with you. I like the strobing ones. The blue ones, I would have to see them in person. The drone video, they look a little more vibrant than the main cam, the A cam.
Blue is so hard to capture, man.
Yeah, it's real dim in person too. Blue is my favorite color and was always my favorite color for the longest time. And then I started shooting fireworks and then I started to hate blue because all of the fireworks burn so long and dimly that it didn't make for good scenes.
Yeah, I think you would really like these ones. And Elite is shipping now. So if you guys want to get an order in, you can message Valmir and be like, hey, I talked to Den Fireworks. What's up?
Yeah, we know.
It would be really cool if they made these in a red and a white and a blue packaging. So you could buy a whole case of that red strobe. Could you imagine a whole front line of those?
Oh, yeah, that'd be sick.
It would look insane.
Yep.
Or even doing the whole,
well, you get 15, 5 of each in there.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you'd have to buy 3 cases.
They do sell them single retail. I don't think they have any cases of just, 15 red.
I'm just throwing it out there when they listen to make cases like that.
Well, no, I mean, I'll text Valmir after this and be like, hey, dude, is this an option? Or,
yeah. Call your red box, blue box.
Sell the blue ones to Bo. You keep the red ones.
Sell them to Dad. That'll buy them.
Yeah.
That'll buy 'em. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, no, I appreciate you guys thinking I know what the hell I'm talking about.
You do know what you're talking about.
I do.
You're the bear. You're the bear with the cake.
Cake talk.
Yummy.
Yummy, baby. Yummy.
Well, those look really good over the lake too.
They would, dude. Anything and everything looks good over the lake. But when I tried to sell Dad on those, it actually didn't even really have to try to sell them on those fountains that for the gerbs, excuse me, that Den showed us last week, because I was like, hey, Dad, picture this. I know you don't like fountains and stuff because they set all your other crap off, and it's like because he would cut the cake, he cuts the tops off all the cakes. Right. So when you expose all the fusing in between the cakes, then of course your fountains are going to send everything up. But usually everything that we float on the lake, we keep nice and covered. So I'm not super worried about it. But those performed so well. And I was like, hey, Dad, picture this. And he's like, yeah, baby. Let's do it.
Nice. I'm getting some rep with Dad, too.
Let's do it.
Nice.
All right. CobraCon's coming up in here in a little over a month. There's only a week or two left to get tickets, so go get them.
God, I wish I could be there.
You're not a Cobra user. You can't come. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no, dude. I would come with the Mongoose shirt the whole time. Of
course you will.
You would hang out with Dana the entire time.
There are so many good classes going on that I want to be there for.
Yeah.
And so many people I either want to see again or meet in person finally.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love to be there.
Absolutely sick for networking.
Did you just call in sick for a couple days?
Such a haul. Yeah.
It's okay.
He got it.
You're doing great. Yeah.
No, dude, with all the vacation time I used up with the wife and then her needing to go back to the ICU and then my cousin's destination wedding, which the wife won't let me not go to.
Fireworks.
I just can't pull it off. Well, I mean, Hawaii, I could probably find some people.
Okay.
Shoot, I'd forego a fireworks event to go to Hawaii.
That's a
Friday
decent
after work,
excuse.
you're there Friday night to hang out, Saturday, and then you go home Sunday. Perfect.
If I can get a flight and pull it off quick enough, you might see me wandering around there, just looking at the gaps because I don't have a ticket yet. Be like, do any of you want me to
looking
be your
in
guest?
through the windows?
Your guest?
Who's that guy outside the hotel looking through the glass pane?
Oh, God. All right. Let's see what else we got. Phoenix Pyrotechnics, Jim Sakely, and the Fireball dudes, Bill Corbett, they in the kitchen, gentlemen, and they're cooking with gas.
They do that.
They do. They cooking with gas. And we got the exclusive next week here on the show. Don't miss it. If you got questions, go to bozy8823.com/rhythm pyro and leave a voicemail. And we're not going to tell you what the episode's about because that kills the hype. So just leave a voicemail and then ask. Be like, hey, I was told to talk on this voicemail. What am I talking about? That'd be funny too. I'll take it. So that's going to be next week. That episode's going to air on the 14th, and then you'll probably get for the rest of the month and maybe even the week of CobraCon and the week after CobraCon, probably get some educational stuff. So looking forward to it. Den, what do you want to learn about? This might be a good opportunity to get some feedback.
Well, I am really bad about cutting songs apart and making them blend in.
I can't do that yet. I got to wait until after CobraCon. I got to wait until after CobraCon.
You just got to go to CobraCon, he said.
There you go.
I would love to. Listen, if you guys can talk the wife into it, like...
She can come.
Oh yeah, that
Amber's
would go
coming.
over really well.
Amber's coming. Tell her she's got another lady to hang out with.
All right. Dude, I will try AJ. I'll be like, come on, man. They all want to meet you.
Just
That's
let her
right.
have Amber call
That's
her.
right.
Amber will call her.
We'll call her. Send her an RPP voicemail.
Okay, stop talking about it.
Stop talking about
Stop
it.
talking about it.
Stop talking about it.
Yeah.
It'll play eventually. I really got to move these files. This is asinine. This is ridiculous.
SSD card.
I just click it. It needs. I need to move it from the
all
network
on the
drive
desktop.
to the SSD.
All on the desktop.
That's not optimal.
Easier to find.
It's not optimal
If
at
it's
all.
on the desktop, it loads faster.